All right, no one's saying you're not, so we're good to go. Well, my name's Tom McNamara. I'm mayor of the city of Rockford, and this is a terribly exciting day for our entire community. This project has been long in the making with a tremendous amount of work, but this is really wonderful to be here with all of you today to celebrate this critically important milestone. I want to thank a host of people today, but specifically I want to thank Lieutenant Governor Stratton, Governor Pritzker, and Senator Stottleman, as well as our entire local delegation for the work and advocacy that they have put forward to bring passenger rail back to the city of Rockford. I do want to call out one state legislator specifically, and that's Senator Stottleman. He secured more than $250 million of funding to restore passenger rail service to Rockford 4 years ago. He has been a driving force behind this project and one of the main reasons that we are all here today. I also want to say a sincere thank you to IDOT Secretary of Transportation, Osman, for all the support that he's provided for this project, but also so many across our city. Over the last several years, I hope many of you have seen, we've quietly and sometimes not so quietly been making significant investments in all quadrants of our city. From public art enhancements to enhancements at museums and attractions, we're breathing new life into many sectors in our community, specifically right here in Southwest Rockford. This quadrant we're in today has often been underutilized and underappreciated. But if you look at the enormous growth that's taking place, we stand here next to the Embassy Suites Hotel. We stand in Davis Park that's undergoing a massive transformation right now. But we're seeing transformations at Clem Arboretum, Tinker Swiss, Clarence Hick Park, Levings Lake, Ethnic Heritage Museum, the Water Power Lofts just down the street. And we're on this coming Monday, we hope to see another transformation in the Barbara Coleman redevelopment project. Thank you, Gabrielle. There is transformation happening everywhere right now, and it's happening in front of our eyes. Passenger rail service will certainly make sure that this transformation, specifically in Southwest Rockford, but all of Rockford, is on the fast track. Passenger rail service will benefit all Rockfordians. Chicago and the suburbs are one of the most visited areas by Rockford residents, and this will allow our residents to get in and out of Chicago without the congestion, without the headaches, and help improve our residents' quality of life. It'll also help us attract new visitors to our community, and passenger rail service will also help our efforts to attract more remote workers to choose Rockford as their place to live. Last week, we launched another item, which was the Sci-Fi fiber optic cable that we're putting in front of every home and business. We layer this with the Rockford Promise that provides free college tuition to our young people and now passenger rail service. It's absolutely a great time to be a Rockfordian and to choose Rockford. Again, I want to thank everyone behind me, and most specifically, I want to thank Governor Pritzker. He has been absolutely a man true to his word and a sincere friend to the city of Rockford. So with that, Governor Pritzker.
Mr. Mayor, thank you. Appreciate you. Well, I must say that, first of all, thank you to all of you here in Rockford, and especially to your mayor, who is the embodiment of leadership. It takes leadership to get things done, to move the legislature, to organize us all to get something done for this community. It takes somebody like Tom McNamara, and I really have appreciated our relationship, his direction, his advocacy, and he really has made a tremendous difference. It's always great to be back here in Rockford, especially where I know that jobs and economic progress are on the upswing, and I'm thrilled to be here to mark yet again an exciting announcement of jobs and modernized transportation systems for this region. In the 4 years since I signed the bipartisan Rebuild Illinois capital plan into law, We've hit the ground running here in Rockford with projects like the expansion of the Rockford International Airport, the South Alpine Road reconstruction, the Times Theater renovation, the Madison Street corridor reconstruction, bike paths and sidewalks on East and West State Streets, new bridge decks on Interstate 39, and so much more. All across Illinois, we're setting ourselves up for success with the best infrastructure in the nation. We've already completed improvements on 5,000 miles of highway across the state, 500 bridges, and dozens of airports and riverports, railroads, transit systems, community colleges and public universities, healthcare institutions, and so much more. And today, I couldn't be happier to announce that for the first time since 1981, we are bringing intercity passenger rail back to Rockford. With the support of two, did you just say you were not even born in 1981? With the support of $275 million in rail improvements from Rebuild Illinois, thanks in part to the leadership of your Senator Steve Stottlemyre, Metra will launch passenger service in 2027 between Rockford and Chicago. After more than 40 years, the Milwaukee District West Line and Union Pacific Railroad partnership will extend service beyond Elgin to reach Rockford, with additional new stops in Huntley and Belvedere. With this new service, we're connecting more communities and creating greater opportunities for people across the state line region. The new Rockford intercity passenger rail service will have positive economic impact that will strengthen Northern Illinois for years to come. From the hundreds of construction and engineering jobs created by our planned rail improvements to the increased economic growth that comes with heightened connectivity, all the way to the long-lasting reduction in pollution and traffic congestion that will stem from more efficient rail service to driving. This makes Rockford and every community along the line even more attractive as a home to families and to businesses. Whether you're commuting to work, going on a job interview, attending night classes, or traveling to family gatherings, these are exciting times for Rockford and for all of Northern Illinois. To Lieutenant Governor Stratton, to IDOT Secretary Omer Osman, to members of the General Assembly, city leaders, and Metra and Union Pacific Railroad management, thank you. Thank you for making this monumental achievement become a reality. Together, we are rebuilding Illinois. And with that, it is my distinct pleasure to turn it over to the best state transportation secretary in the entire nation, our Transportation Secretary, Omer Osman. Omer.
Good morning, and Governor, thank you so much. 1981, I wish I was that young, right? So good morning, everyone, and what a historic day for Rockford and all of Illinois. Back in 2019, when Governor Pritzker's vision and the support of the General Assembly led to the passage of Rebuild Illinois, RBI, we knew that progress to restore passenger service to this great city was not going to happen overnight. Alternatives needed to be evaluated. Options had to be weighed. Partnerships needed to be formed. Today, we are here with this beautiful train behind us to announce that IDOT has chosen Metra as the service provider for the state's latest passenger rail line. Rockford will join service already in place from Chicago to Milwaukee, Quincy, St. Louis, Carbondale, and more than 20 communities in between. It is just one more example of how Illinois truly is a railroad state and is the transportation hub of North America. I'd like to give a huge shout out to our new Deputy Secretary Jeremy LaMarche, who's standing in the back, and 2 months into it, and he's doing great. And of course, the entire team of the intermodal project implementation. I know Director Jason is here and his entire team. They do, they do great work behind the scene, and I wanted to highlight the great work they do. And of course, there is a great team of engineering consultants doing the engineering work that's led by WSP, and they have tremendous partners with them here too. So thank you. But truly, though, we owe a tremendous amount of gratitude to our friends at the Union Pacific Railroad, who have been solid partners as we look to provide mobility options for residents and visitors in Illinois. So, Mr. Turner and the entire UP team, thank you. The selection of Metra as our partner shows that IDOT under this governor is willing to think outside the box to find solutions. Today's announcement represents real progress and a commitment to getting the job done for the people of Rockford and all of Illinois. Passenger rail projects are some of the most challenging, complex projects at IDOT. They also take leadership, something we are so fortunate to have here in Illinois. Governor Pritzker knows that investment in transportation is simply an investment in people. This train is the first of many more to come, Rockford. We look forward to working with you to make it happen real soon. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce Lieutenant Governor Stratton, who is really, really passionate about infrastructure. So, Lieutenant Governor.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton, she, her pronouns, and thank you, Secretary Osmond, for that warm introduction. I also want to acknowledge the dedicated efforts by you and your team at the Department of Transportation to ensure Illinoisans are connected so we can all go further. I'm grateful for the leadership and partnership of Mayor Tom McNamara, the strong advocacy of State Senator Steve Stottleman, and grateful for the work of all of the members of the General Assembly and other elected leaders and other community leaders who are joining us today. Thank you for your commitment to improving the lives of your constituents. And of course, thank you to Metra CEO and Executive Director James Derwinski, as well as John Turner, Union Pacific Railroad's Vice President of Operations, for your work to keep Illinoisans moving. It's so great to stand alongside Governor Pritzker and all of you to celebrate this major step forward in not only moving people, but moving our entire state forward. This is what the Rebuild Illinois Capital Program is all about. Not only are we rebuilding a vital link between Rockford and Chicago, we are rebuilding the groundwork for safe, reliable transportation that uplifts communities across our state. You know, when it comes to transportation, we never look back. It's always about the future and envisioning what's possible. Well, as we're making clear today, we have our sights set on the future, one that will open doors to local economies, a future that will create good jobs and improve the quality of life for working families in Illinois, a future that is accessible and sustainable, that isn't just focused on car-centric infrastructure. This $275 million investment and our continued efforts to improve how Illinoisans live, work, and move through Rebuild Illinois is taking us there. So thank you. It is now my pleasure to pass it over to someone who recognizes that when we are connected, we go further together. Metra CEO, Jim Derwinski.
Good morning, everybody. And I normally get to say welcome to Metra, and we brought Metra to you. I want to introduce Romaine Brown, our board chair from Metra. She represents Cook County. Thank you for coming out today, Romaine. To say passenger railroading is complicated, the secretary really minimized that statement. It is extremely complicated. But this is a major step for Illinois. Bringing back the two largest regions of Illinois through passenger rail. It's a major step for Metra as well. for us to journey outside our normal 6-county region. But I would argue this is something we're well prepared to do. We were created to serve communities, to connect communities, to bring people to the things that they love, to the work, and to the places they want to go. This is exactly what we're going to do here in Rockford. We also were green before green was invented. Putting people on that train takes more carbon emissions out of the air than anybody can do in any other form of transportation. Passenger rail is the solution to our environmental issues. We have a long-standing relationship with all the railroads that we work with here in the region, but we have a very particular great relationship with Union Pacific Railroad. And I'm glad that we're here today because of this partnership and the ability for us to get this job done. We know how to operate passenger trains. We see this as an opportunity to showcase the work we do. Again, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Mr. Secretary, thank you for the confidence in Metra. We will make you proud of us. It is my pleasure to bring up John Turner, Executive Vice President of Operations, Union Pacific Railroad, and a great partner.
Thank you, and good morning. Jim gave me quite the promotion there. I'm actually Senior Vice President of the Harriman Dispatch Center in Omaha, Nebraska. And it's my pleasure to be here today to share in another chapter of our historical relationship with the state of Illinois and with our rail partner, Metra. Our relationship to this area dates back with one of our predecessor railroads in 1852, where the railroad was built and connecting Chicago and Rockford together for the very first time. It is why it's so important and why we're so excited to take this next step. And we'll continue that partnership because the residents of this area deserve another mode of transportation between Chicago and the Rockford area, with stops in between mentioned before from the previous speakers. It also allows freight operations to continue to this area, connecting consumers and markets to the world using the freight network. As the governor mentioned in his opening remarks, the 2019 Rebuild Illinois Capital Program actually set the groundwork for this historic announcement here today, and it will allow us to enhance tracks, bridges, signal systems, and even adding a siding track that allows trains to meet and pass similar to a passing lane on a highway. We're excited about that. We're ready to get started. We're also excited to partner with Metra. We have a long-standing relationship of working together in partnership in the greater 6-county area in Chicago. And this extension, we would expect to be a seamless transition, and using their expertise on this route will no doubt allow us to provide premier service for our customers all up and down this route. The governor highlighted several of the infrastructure bills, but I really view this as an extension of much of the work that's happened under CREATE, where we just announced last week the advancement of the Illinois high-speed rail and other projects in and around the area. And with that, I'm happy to turn it over to Senator Stadelman for further comments.
Perfect timing on that, all right. I am so excited. Can't you tell? Isn't that a beautiful sight behind us, the Metra train? Yeah. Whoever made that happen, thank you very much. Great photo op. Governor, I realize I may have been a bit of a pest the past couple of years regarding passenger rail service. Every time the governor, or most times the governor would come to Rockford, whether it was an appearance or a news conference, he would mention or complain about how it always be in his office asking about passenger rail. But Governor, I don't apologize. It must have worked. You're here, Metra's here, and the project's moving forward. Thank you very much. Seriously though, we would not be here if it were not for Governor Pritzker. Remember the past governor tried to kill this project? Governor Pritzker, thank you very much. You believe in Rockford. Thank you for moving our region and our state forward. As was mentioned, 4 years ago, the governor spearheaded a capital plan, the first one we had in 10 years. Of course, the legislature approved that. That's allowing this project to move forward and pay for it. Transportation infrastructure is not and should not be a partisan issue. Democrats and Republicans, no, it generates economic development, and that's what Metra coming to Rockford will bring to the Rockford area. Train service to Chicago will make the Rockford region a more attractive place to live and work. We have affordable housing. People can live here and commute with easier access to the city. And boy, if you've driven the Kennedy lately, I wish we had that service right now. It's not easy to get into Chicagoland right now. But it works both ways. We've had a difficult time attracting professional talent in the Rockford area. Maybe people prefer to live in Chicagoland, but want to work in our thriving aerospace sector or other manufacturing industries we have in our community. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Stratton. Thank you, Secretary Osmond, who have also maybe answered a lot of questions the past couple years. Appreciate your diligence in moving this project forward. Thank you to the rest of the IDOT team for your work for putting passenger service back on track. Thank you to Union Pacific for your partnership. Thank you to Metra. Jim took a couple of my questions over the past years as well, so I appreciate you being here and moving this project forward. Thank you to all the partners involved. Mayor McNamara, his advocacy, North Cog, R1, Mayor Morris from Belvedere is here. Mayor Morris gets it. He realizes the benefits of passenger rail to our region. I support your project in this area. A lot of people, as has been mentioned, been working on this for a long, long time. Let's get it across the finish line and get the projects and trains moving. Thank you, everybody. Yeah. As I mentioned, this is a bipartisan project. I'd like to introduce my colleague in the Senate, Dave Severson.
Thank you. As the sole Republican up here, they take converts, but I was proud to support the bipartisan capital plan because we knew how important this was to rebuilding Illinois and rebuilding our infrastructure. And as the senator mentioned, it shouldn't be a partisan issue when you're talking about rebuilding our state. So I also want to thank the governor and the secretary for keeping their word that these dollars would go for much needed capital projects. It's putting people to work, it's rebuilding our infrastructure, and it's clearly making a difference. My district covers from just west of Randall Road to the eastern part of Rockford, so it certainly is impacting us, especially the first phase of with Huntley. McHenry County has been paying in to this for years and been pushing for this, and we know that there's a large number of riders that are currently from Huntley using this. So on behalf of people of McHenry County and Huntley, we're very, very grateful for the impact this is going to have on McHenry County as well. So thank you, Governor, thank you, Secretary, for helping us rebuild this area. God bless. Thanks again. I get to introduce Representative West, the good-looking member of our caucus.
Thank you, Senator Severson. And I must say, there's two things I'm really proud of, Governor Pritzker. One, as I say every time you come, welcome to the 67th District. And the fact that we are here on the west side of Rockford to celebrate new development for our city. But two, when I thought about how the last time we had passenger rail here was 1981, I may be the only one up here who was not alive in 1981.
Ouch.
Come on, man.
Ouch.
I'm sorry, Mayor McNamara looks older than he looks, than he actually is. This is a joyous occasion, family. I'm really excited about this. And the one thing that I don't want to echo what has already been said, and I thank you to all the stakeholders who are here. But one thing I really want to say is I'm really excited about not just this new development for our community, but the new sense of hope that's going to bring to our residents here. We're right on the cusp of the 5th Ward and the 13th Ward, two wards that are historically been part of the have-nots, two wards that have historically been on the other side of opportunity. But this project, along with, as you saw, the Embassy Suites Hotel, as you see behind us, beyond the trees, we're working on Barbara Coleman. This is truly the definition of opportunity everywhere for everyone in this Rockford region. And so I want to just thank everyone who was part of this. I want to thank the residents, not just in the Rockford region, but throughout the whole state of Illinois. Your contribution to the Rebuild Illinois campaign is why we are here. So thank you. This is a collective effort, so we should all celebrate together and I look forward to doing that with all of you in the years to come. And I would like to give it to my good friend of the 68th, Representative Dave Vella.
All right. So I am batting cleanup. I'm the last one. Yeah, that's right. Who needs those things? 43 years is a long time. As I'm getting ready to come out here, put my suit on, sweat in front of you guys, my wife asked me where I was going, and I said we're going to talk about how Metra is going to be our train service coming to Rockford. And I swear to God, she said, is that actually going to happen? Everybody, I mean, I lived here my whole life. Everybody asked, are we going to get the train? And I say, yes, we're going to get the train. Because I have a lot of hope. But everybody says, yeah, sure. This is a big step to go forward. And not just getting the train, but getting the downtown back to what it was before we lost the train back in 1981. 1981, I was, 9 years old. It's great. It's been great to live in Rockford since. It was great to live in Rockford back then. But downtown, I'm a little older. I'm a little older. Point being, I'm just happy the train is coming. And it's not just to Rockford. So Rockford is half of my district, and the other half is Belvedere. There's going to be a stop at Rockford. There's going to be a stop in Belvedere. This is going to connect Rockford and Belvedere to Chicago, and Chicago to Rockford and Belvedere, which means more commuters, more people living here, more businesses setting up, more opportunities for everybody across the whole state line. And it will provide hope. I mean, we heard forever and ever we weren't going to get a casino. We got the casino. We heard forever that we weren't going to get a train. We're getting the train. I'm done hearing from people that Rockford's not going to get what we deserve, because we're getting what we deserve. And this is it. So I want to say thank you to Governor Pritzker for his leadership and for the money. And thank you to Senator Stottleman for his hard work, because I swear to God, 10 years, as soon as I got in here, the first thing he asked me was, what do you think about the train? And he's been talking about the train ever since. God bless him. He has really, really shepherded this along. And thank you to IDOT and to Metra for putting in the work, because this is not an easy thing. But this, coupled with what we're doing on I-39, coupled with the fact that our airport is growing and growing and growing, Rockford region and Belvedere are going to be the hub of transportation in the area, which is going to bring more jobs, which is going to bring more opportunity, and it's just going to make us all happy, and it's going to get Rockford back on the right track. What do you think about that? Come on. One joke. Anyway, thank you very much, and thank you to everybody, and I would like to bring back up Governor Pritzker. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. Happy to take any questions from members of the media. That's not currently part of the plan. The whole idea here is that we've, in the Rebuild Illinois capital plan, that those dollars, which come from everybody that's here, but also all across the state, is helping to pay for Rockford and the development here. Call on our Metra folks. There's no plan for any tax on people who are boarding the trains here. I don't know what the schedule is, although maybe Jim,
Yeah, the current base proposal is 2 trains in and out 7 days a week. That's the base proposal. Yes. Do not know that. That'll be up working with the IDOT and then, of course, the communities. What's the list goes on and on and on. This rail is not meant to do 80 mile an hour. So there's a lot of rail. There's going to be signaling. There's going to be sidings, as John Turner talked about. This historic bridge, this will be part of it. And then there'll be a flyover near Elgin to land onto the Metra tracks much more smoothly. Yes. We estimate it 95 minutes right now. The more times you stop, the longer the trip takes. So the track from Eldon to Chicago is owned by Metra, so that's a state asset. And then the track from Elgin to Rockford is owned by Union Pacific Railroad. They're a private railroad. There'll be a trackage agreement to operate on their property. How long? I like them really long. We'll have to talk to Mr. Turner. The longer you get, the more certainty you get in your budgeting. At this point in time, those are discussions that'll be happening as we work out deals all the time. There's at the end of the day, the access to the railroad, it comes down to Union Pacific and us working together. It comes from IDOT. Yes. Don't know that number right now. That we have not got into yet. Again, as the operator, we're going to be working with the Illinois Department of Transportation to figure out what that price point would be. That's part of the original stations, yes. I took your mic.
No, you did great. You got the technical.